I'm James G, back with another video. Welcome to the Cycling Celebration channel, where we feature videos that highlight the cycling lifestyle for cycling enthusiasts of all ages. This ride takes place on October 12th of 2023, Thursday, October 12th, 2023. Okay, so we met up at our usual spot, which was at the behind the Midtown, Detroit Midtown Trek Bike Shop, located at Woodward and Martin Luther King. So right behind the shop is the parking lot, and the group usually meets up there. At least most of them. There are a few that may park at a lot across the street on the other side of Martin Luther King or somewhere else. But for the most part, most of us are in that parking lot, and we leave from that location. So now you know how this all started, with me riding the recumbent trikes. But actually, when I bought that first trike at Paul's Bike Depot, it was like, really expensive. But since I really wanted to try this thing out and invest in it, because I believe in investing in myself, because this was something that I was going to do as a hobby and retirement, because it was something that I figured I could do in a short period of time, within a couple of hours, and not much longer than that. So how I started out with this, I got a loan at my credit union, and this first strike was like $1,400, right? So, I didn't have the cash, of course, to purchase it, so I had to get a loan for it. And, where I got the loan from, it was from like my 401k, or I don't think it was that, but anyway, no, it was just a loan. Anyway, got that loan, got the trike, and what I was doing, this was before I actually retired, because I didn't retire until the beginning of 2012, and this was back in, I want to say, summer of 2010, or late summer of 2010, when I got this. So I would, at the time, it fit actually in the back of my car, that I had at the time. I had like a 2-seater little panel truck. I can't remember the name of that thing. It was made by Chevrolet, but yeah. Anyway, I could fit this recumbent in the back of that truck and take it. It was an SUV, but I could fit it in the back. It's a hatchback, and I would take it to Belle Isle, and I could ride around Belle Isle one whole time. First time I started trying it out, I tried riding it around the block in the neighborhood at first, but that wasn't really enough. I needed somewhere where I felt like I could ride it safe as a beginner doing this. So I loaded it up, took it to Belle Isle. And I would actually have it with me at work, because I was still working. And then I could leave straight from work, because I worked towards downtown. It wasn't that far from where I worked to go to Belle Isle. So I would get that little, I'd get off around 3 o'clock at work, and I'd head down there, be down to Belle Isle by like 4 o'clock, or have my bike out and ready to ride by like 4 o'clock. And, I'd ride around there one time, put the bike up, ride back home. That was like a routine that I did almost every day. And it got better as I went along, where I could actually ride around Belle Isle 2 times. And sometimes I wouldn't go to Belle Isle, and when they had the Quinta Cut there, I would go to the Quinta Cut and ride my bike back and forth down the Quinta Cut. But when I first started riding the Quinta Cut, they didn't have the whole cut finished. It wasn't quite where it is now. There was probably another like half a mile part that wasn't developed yet, but they still had one part of it open. So I was riding that. I would ride 12 times. All together. I ride back and forth. That would be 12 times. That would be whatever, same amount of miles, like as 2 times around Belle Isle, which was like 11 miles, 12 miles, whatever you want to call it. So 6 times back and forth on the Quinta Cut would equal like 12 miles. So anyway, that's what I was doing to get my exercise in. And at first that seemed to work pretty well. I maintained my weight, but when I first retired, it took me a long time to adjust from working to a retirement life. I mean, I want to admit that, at first, in 6 months, I just slept a lot. I had to catch up on my sleep because I didn't really get a chance to sleep as much while I was working because I was on call a lot, getting called out in the middle of the night sometimes. Also, we started at my job at like 6 in the morning, so basically I was getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and for a while I actually had to get up in the middle of the night, let the dog out, different things like that. That were happening, going on. So really, I just basically didn't get very much sleep at all during that last few years when I was working in the AC network. So I was happy to retire and start my new life. And this is all part of, with the ride the bike, the cycling, call it. And that was my first one. And I did that for a while. And then I started to want, something a little more. Like I said, well, I would rather, it came out with some wheels that were bigger than 20 inches, and they had bikes that were, maybe I figured could go a little bit faster, so I wanted to experience something different and new by, a couple of years down the road. So I think it was around 2016 I started getting, maybe the Cat Trike Annihilator. I think I ordered that thing and, spent some of my money on that and everything. That was like my second bike or trike. And I mean, like, I had this special deal with the bank, whereas through I ordered the next trikes, all at this place called Utah Trikes, which I found online, and they make specialty trikes. They do all these little these special parts to adapt it to the 26-inch wheel or whatever, and they have special editions of different types of trikes that you can't find anywhere else. So I started getting interested in that, and I bought, I would buy one like, it was 18 months same as cash deal with no interest on these loans to this credit card that I would get through a Citibank. It was Synchrony Bank, not Citibank, Synchrony Bank, yeah. Anyway, the Synchrony Bank offered those deals, and when I got the 18 months same as cash, I put down a certain amount of money to get the payment to where I felt like I could afford it, and then, I paid off within 18 months, and, I was like, wow, this is really, really cool, I wish I could do a car loan like that, pay my car off, and done with it, but of course it's not on the same scale price-wise as a bike. Although these bikes are getting to be much more expensive now, as to where I've spent, tremendous amounts of money on some of these trikes that I have now. But still, financing is still the same. If you can put enough down where you can pay it off in 18 months, it's yours. You have to pay no interest at all, same as cash. So I've been doing that for years now, and that's how I got all the bikes and trikes that I have, with one exception of the Trek shop, the Trek bike that I get. That, Trek Powerfly, I actually paid money when I got some insurance. I cashed in some insurance money, when my mother passed, and I took that money and spent it out on that bike, and I still have it. She passed in 2015, but I didn't actually cash in this money until 2 years later, so like 2017, 2018, 3 years later, something like that. So, that's where I got the money from anyway, but I bought the bike probably about 3 years later after my mother had passed. And I still have it since then, so I've had it like about 5 years, I want to say, somewhere around. So that's the story. I'm getting long-winded here, talking about the trikes. I came up with this idea, I think about a year ago, to have a YouTube channel called the Cycling Celebration Channel. My whole idea was the fact that, as I got older and I retired from my job at DTE Energy after 34 years, and I was there with my wife Dawn, who was sick with a form of very progressive, primary progressive MS, where she became bedridden for 15 years. So I retired somewhat early and started to take care of my wife. And so I needed a hobby when I retired. I just didn't want to just sit around and not do anything and not have something that would use up the energy that I had when I was working, that take the place of that, at least I did something in that job. So I figured, well, I need something to do when I retired. So the thing that I thought about probably a year before I retired was starting to get back into riding bikes, cycling. So I went to a bike shop on the east side. For some reason, it's called Paul's Bike Depot. And this bike shop was located on Gratiot, I think about maybe 12-mile Gratiot, 12 and a half, somewhere in there. About 12 and a half mile Gratiot. So, I was looking at different shops and stuff, looking for bikes. I went in there, and what caught my eye was they had a bike I had never really experienced before, seen before. This was back in 2010. It was a recumbent style that they call a tadpole recumbent, which is means it has 3 wheels. It's a trike, tadpole recumbent trike. It has 3 wheels, which all trikes will have 3 wheels. But the tadpole has 2 wheels in the front and 1 wheel behind the seat where you ride the trike. Whereas the other style of trike was called a delta trike. And the delta trike has the 2 wheels behind the seat and 1 wheel out front. That's the difference. That's difference in those styles of recumbents. And then there are upright recumbents, which just have 2 wheels like a regular bicycle. But they have a seat that sits back and the pedals are more out in front toward the front wheel, and that's also another style of recumbent. But this was the tadpole recumbent. It was like the first one. I think it was can't even remember the name of the manufacturer. No, Sunseeker. It was Sunseeker. It was nice. Sun CX3, something like that. But it was a beginner trike, had 20-inch wheels all the way around, and regular mechanical disc brakes, nothing really fancy. But at the time though, it was expensive, a lot more than I was used to spending on a bike. I thought, hey, let me give this a try, because I don't really want to be, one of these guys. I was already almost 57 years old by the time, going on 57. So I felt like, this would be easier on my back. Instead of leaning over handlebars, I'd be in a nice, comfortable seat. So that was my whole idea with this recumbent tricycle, and that's what started this all back in 2010. I'm really trying to figure out what happened after I retired, because that was such a long time ago, in 2012. But, I know at one point though, I started to get in better shape, physical shape, after I was able to ride distances of up to 12 miles every day. And I got in better shape. Maybe I hadn't lost all the weight that I needed to lose and anything like that necessarily, but I was still in better physical shape. So I wanted to challenge myself, and that's when I started to say, well, it's going to be loading these trikes in the car, and plus some of the trikes when I got them were, especially when I first got that quad cycle. The quad was way too big to fit in the vehicle, so it was impossible for me to actually put it in. I didn't have a vehicle big enough to put it in to take it anywhere. So one thing I could do is ride it wherever I wanted to go. And when I first got it, I was enjoying that thing so much.
Once again, I made the wrong turn off Hamilton.
Because I think that was the first thing I had with the motor on it. That was my first experience with that 1,000 watt electric thing, motor thing. D-A-F-A-N-G thing. Anyway, that 1,000 watt peak motor, and I don't know how many, how much torque, how many newton meters. I'm not sure if it was like 65 or 70 newton meters, but it was a lot of torque too. And so I could crank the thing up to easy, like 25 miles an hour, maybe.
At this point, I had no idea where I was or what street I was on.
At least that much, with no problem. So I was enjoying that, because, anytime you can ride a bike or any kind of thing down the street at that speed, it's not a car, it's kind of exciting, it's kind of real. It's almost like having a mini bike when you were a kid, So, there's a certain amount of excitement, thrill to ride these electric bikes and stuff. And nowadays they have them where they're much faster, but I haven't quite experienced anything faster than like 30 miles an hour myself. But I know that they're out there, they have them make go at 40, 50 miles an hour. And you get that class, towards you beyond what they call a class 3 bike, which goes usually up to 40 miles an hour.
I know my trike was all lit up with all kinds of light effects. It looks really cool, but there was no way I was going to stop and talk to some random stranger.
But people are, of course, they're riding and stuff, and nobody's actually checking to see, whether you're an off-road vehicle, off-road, electric, or e-bike, or whatever. Nobody's checking that. I I do know I see the guy riding one wheel, which is like a wheel with a motor, internal motor inside of the wheel. And it's just one wheel with a platform on the side of the wheel, and down yourself on the wheel, of course, moving forward. Wheel takes off. I mean, those are kind of fascinating too. I've seen that. People streaming, just zooming down the street on like 30 miles, 40 miles an hour, 50, some of them go 60 miles an hour. I can't even imagine going that fast on something like a motorcycle. Basically, that's what it is. So, I'm kind of getting off track, but just to say that it is exciting going fast on something other than, kind of fast on something other than just an alternative type of transportation. We got so used to taking cars everywhere. We haven't ever thought about the effects on climate change that the fossil fuel industry has. How much it has affected our atmosphere and caused our polar ice caps to start to melt. Causing global warming gradually, over years, but we have, they know about this probably in 1970s, really started looking into it. And they know about this climate change stuff, but really just now started to take it serious. And basically that's part of what this type of celebration channel is about. A serious side is like, I feel people switch over and start using alternative forms of transportation that not, that don't affect our atmosphere the same way, that are not carbon neutral. So we get these forms of transportation, renewable energy and that kind of thing, that we can slow down this climate change. And then also would be a lot of benefits too, because of the fact that, there's the health benefits. I talked about that before. But that's just something, that is really important too. Because you get exercise and go somewhere at the same time. And also, combine these Bluetooth speakers and these visuals and music. I mean, you have everything. You got music, transportation, you get exercise, all of this stuff at the same time. And so it's just something that I feel like would be a great thing if more people could partake in this, participate in this kind of activity. So that is my whole thing about this cycling celebration channel. It doesn't matter what kind of bike you get an e-bike or a regular bike, road bike or gravel bike or whatever kind of bike you get. As long as you get something that's comfortable for you and you get exercise with it. That's the point,